Welcome to the SuperCharged video show, where I interview interesting and inspiring people right inside the Tesla.
See, biker could have been dead.
Oh man. You're my biker lookout.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
The problem is, I would probably, there's a better chance I'm going to be like, oh my god, biker after it's already down. So
after
after you cream the biker.
Well, I have in the car with me right now David Siteman Garland, and he's actually one of my inspirations for doing video stuff. So that's why I wanted to have him in the car. So welcome, David.
I am glad to be here. First of all, it's fun to kind of look around, like all your setup here and everything. I feel like we're in a fun little land and in a Tesla. So that's nothing wrong with that.
And by the way, you own a Tesla as well.
I do.
Correct?
I
Yes.
do.
So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about what you do and how you do it?
Yeah, so this is funny. It's always interesting to kind of come up with the Cliff's Notes version of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things. So what I do is I have a website and online programs, and what I do is I help people create and sell online courses. That's really what the core of my business is all about. So what I'm kind of quote unquote best known for, whatever you want to put that as,
sure.
Was I started a website called The Rise to the Top back in 2008. And started by doing interviews. I did interviews like this. I mean, not necessarily driving around in the Tesla in the middle of St. Louis, but I did random interviews with entrepreneurs and stuff for years.
Yeah.
And the business evolved over time, where now our specialty is helping people create online courses through our training and now software as well that helps them with that. So that's kind of the Cliff's Notes synopsis.
Fantastic. And that's how I discovered you, was Rise to the Top, and then I took your Awesome Interviews course.
Yeah.
And you're still doing that, right? I mean, it's still a product.
Yeah. I that was actually my first online course, because what happened was, the story about that is kind of funny, is I've been doing this podcast and web show, for 5 years, and, or whatever it was at that point. I had 4 years, whatever it was. And I'd done hundreds of interviews with all different types of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And people kept telling me all the time, and we had sponsors and did all that kind of stuff, but people kept telling me, David, you got to come out with a product or program. You got to do something. And that it was always in the back of my mind, but I didn't know exactly what I was going to do or what it was going to be on. And that first subject matter was right under my nose. I didn't even think about it. So I thought to myself, well, what am I asked about all the time? And this was back in the day, years ago, it was always about interviews. How do you do an interview? How do you get a great guest? How do you market it? How do you make money from it? Like, all these different questions were in all the time. So what I ended up actually doing was using the interview skills and talk to a bunch of these online course creators, which I call mediapreneurs.
Right.
And, tons of them, and found out kind of what are their secrets, what are their strategies, what are their tips, what are their to-dos, not-dos, and then I put it together, and that's the course that how it goes in full circle, I purchased, which is called Create Awesome Interviews. So that was the first course, was teaching people how to do interviews, and that's kind of where the whole business started to shift from there.
Very, very cool. So so you're doing that now, and so the kind of thing I'm doing is I'm interviewing inspirational people. Right?
Yeah.
So, and the standard question is, what inspires you, right? Well, let's take it a step further. What actually gives you like the goosebumps, the chills? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's an interesting thing, because it's a combination of probably a few different things. One, when it comes to from the business, I mean, because I'm all about family, friends, sports. My daughter Aviva, my wife Marcy, like that's really what gives me goosebumps, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking business, so on the business standpoint here, the number one thing, and these aren't necessarily in order; these are just as they pop in my head. The first thing is, being able to make revenue without actually being there. All the time. So what I mean by that is creating a lifestyle related business, because it used to be I had to essentially be there to make money one way or another, whether it was doing a podcast or doing that or this. And a course is a kind of an asset. Well, it's not kind of, it is an asset that you can, once you create it, you can resell it, you can do little things off of it, workshops, other bonus material, things like that. So when you start to have an asset, like actually right now, this is funny, we're doing a big promotion at the time of filming of our conversation right now, and I was checking my phone and you see sales coming in.
Yeah.
And people talk about it. It's not that it's without work. Of course, there's tons of hard work to get to that point, and it's not necessarily about 100% automation either. right? But it's about the idea that you can create a business around your lifestyle and not the other way around. You know, for me, I'm all about, like I said, family. Playing recreational sports, had a softball doubleheader last night. Do you know what I mean? You know, spending time doing things that I love outside of business and working on business. So having that kind of flexibility is what I really love, and not being tied to, let's say, the computer or the phone or in meetings or anything like that, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm driving around the country.
Right.
I mean, it's
which is insane. I got in the car. It was funny. I was like, the first thing my mom said was, just don't get in the car with anyone that just pulls up. Do you know what I mean? So I made sure this was the Tesla,
right.
The Tesla $1 million ride here. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the other thing, by the way, just popped in my head was one of the other key kind of forms of inspiration. This is what's so fun about doing courses, in my opinion, is that you get to really help people and you get to see their results. Totally. And that is, I mean, so kind of the business end, yes, awesome. But really what kind of gets me going is hearing these success stories from people, because now we've got hundreds of them. You know, right. From people that have online courses on every freaking category out there, from, you know, equestrian Tai Chi, which I still don't know exactly what that is. You know, yeah, we've got a lady who is the world's renowned expert in equestrian Tai Chi. Don't really know what it is. I think you do equestrian, or you do Tai Chi on the horse. I don't know. Does the horse do Tai Chi on you? I don't know. But you start to hear these stories that are legit because they're people. I mean, you know, these are people that lives have been transformed in some form or fashion by taking something that they already know, package it up, and, you know, selling it online. And, you know, there's many stories that stick out. And it's not always just about who is making the most money. You know what I mean? And by the way, of course, we're going to, if we see someone coming in that's crushing it, we just had someone this week that did, you know, $220,000 in their first launch of their course, which is ridiculous. So we're going to talk to him and find out what kind of secret witchcraft he's been doing. Yeah. But I get excited when I hear about, you know, the single mom in Las Vegas named Renee, who she started doing this. She was really struggling. She almost couldn't make rent. You know, she was like literally looking at, and this sounds like it's like a big fairy tale. It's really not. But she was looking at, you know, kind of homeless shelters, and she was in kind of big trouble. She took the program, she packaged up something together, and she made a few $1,000s on her very first launch. And for her, that was life-changing. And she sent a video that we now is kind of famous on our circles. It's called the Crying Girl video.
Oh, I've actually seen that.
That's her. That, yeah. And now fast forward, now she's doing multiple six figures. Now this year, but so I think that's where I kind of pull my inspiration from, is those two different areas. One, the business perspective myself, and then also kind of the success stories of customers and students.
Very, very cool. I love it. So, okay, we've hit all your business stuff. Because we're making these kind of quick now.
Yeah.
So, what? Give us maybe just another fun fact about David.
Let's see. I'm a big CrossFitter. Yeah, so I'm big into CrossFit. It's kind of my other obsession that I'm into. I got into it April 2014. And when I do anything, I just kind of end up. I have two speeds. It's like go and stop, right? Yeah, right. And so if I'm gonna do something, I can't go half. I have to just go all in. So it's been something I've been really loving, and also it transfers a lot to business, because you're around a lot of motivated people with fitness that are pushing you, you're pushing them. There's a community aspect to it. Yeah. It's a whole kind of down and dirty, like, they say cult-like following. That's totally true about it.
It is. I mean, I've done it.
Yeah, totally cult-like. Yeah. But it's a good cult. Like I try to explain, but it's not. There's no red Kool-Aid. No. We're just doing some barbells, right? And some burpees, right? Yes. But I think it's really cool though, because you can start to see measurable changes and results from that, with fitness and nutrition, and I think that totally translates to business as well. Yeah. And life. Like you have an amazing workout where you worked your butt off, or you met, you did something, or even you failed, right? Yeah. You come in and like everything else seems much more manageable that day. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, if you did that first,
right? Yeah. You're like, oh well, I already did 16,000 burpees, so I think I will get my email out.
Yes.
And I think I will kind of work on my sales page or whatever it might be. So God, I would say that's another random fun fact about me there for sure.
Very cool. And then since I'm on this road trip, what's the greatest thing about St. Louis, and why do you love it here?
Yeah, I love St. Louis. It's funny. I was born and raised here, and it's funny. I've watched people move away. I've watched people move in. It's all different things. Yeah. What I love about the city is that it's a very easy city to live in. It's a very easy city to live in. And what I mean by that is there's not, tons of traffic. There's not tons of like stress to get from one place to another. And there's amazing food in St. Louis that people don't, I think, give this city credit for by any means whatsoever that are outside. And they kind of have something for everyone. If you're into sports or art or theater, or you want a walkable neighborhood like the Central West End, which is my favorite neighborhood, one of my favorite neighborhoods in St. Louis, where you can kind of access everything. So I think, it's a great place to live. You're right in the middle of things. So, you want to take a trip somewhere, you don't have to worry about, going 50,000 hours. And so, yeah, it's a great little city. I love being a part of it. And I also kind of love representing it sometimes, like kind of by accident.
Right,
Not that I'm representing St. Louis, but I'm saying that I love when people come in from out of town, or maybe in the kind of internet business world one way or another that aren't familiar with this, because there's not a lot of people in my industry in St. Louis, and so it's kind of fun to talk about the city because it's like introducing people to my little world.
This is Forest Park.
This is Forest Park. This is
awesome.
Which is, I don't know how much bigger, but it's bigger than Central Park. That's always like the thing that people say. It is definitely far bigger than Central Park.
Wow.
The stuff in here there's softball and golf and the Muni. Do you ever heard of the Muni before?
No, what's the Muni?
So a Muni is the largest outdoor theater in the country.
Really?
And they put on musicals at the Muni, like high production musicals. And what it's famous for, it's huge.
Have you ever started one?
Was start in a musical? Yeah, that's what we need. That's a big great way to empty out the Muni. But what's crazy about it is that it's a huge stadium, and they always have actually at the top free seats for folks that want to go. It's like a legendary thing around here is the free seats.
Right.
But I am little known fact, I like musicals for some reason, which is really random. Along with my sports, like my musicals.
Yeah, it's an odd combo.
Right.
To wrap it up, let's get into the kind of connections that would be good for you, and then there are the kind of people that you can help, and then also the kind of people that maybe
for sure.
You.
The type of people I love to help like motivated, positive attitude, ready to get their hands dirty type of people. That's the people that I love to help. And who specifically? Well, who I normally help and who has kind of been my base of customers over the years has been, number one, people that have some kind of online following. So maybe it's a podcaster, blogger, etc., and they want to learn how to create online courses. Or it's maybe someone that has an online course and maybe they want to improve the process. Maybe it went well, maybe it didn't go so well, but they want to kind of perfect it. That's another type of person that has come to us and been customers. The third category would be someone that right now is trading dollars for hours. Maybe they're doing coaching or consulting, or anything like that. You can go left here, by the way. I love doing the live TV
Absolutely.
thing. We can just go through directions. Someone that's trading dollars for hours. Maybe they even have some more leverage, or a speaker, or an author, something like that. But they want to reach a bigger audience online and do it, basically in their pajamas. Or productize their knowledge, right? And those are the types of people that normally we work with the most, or they're most of our customers. And also, sometimes we get the extremely committed beginner that's coming in, but we really kind of base it on people that kind of fall into those three categories. Who am I looking for? I don't know. I'm not really. I'm just not. I'm not really like an active. I kind of let things kind of come to me a little bit. I don't know how to quite describe it like that, but for me, it's anyone in that kind of space, anyone that's kind of interested in that kind of stuff. I'm always interested, and for me, it's funny that as you get with this business, as it continues to evolve, you just end up meeting so many interesting people.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's kind of where we're at. We're always looking to spread the message of helping people. Take what they know, turn it into a product, sell it online from a business perspective. And I'm always interested in talking to CrossFitters. So if you're in a CrossFit, you end up getting bonus points from me, which has totally happened with playing favorites with customers before. Not that I'm playing favorites, but I'm saying that.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Not that I'm playing favorites, but when I hear from someone that they're like into it's funny when you start to find those common things. I think that's really what it ends up all being about. And I think a lot of people in the industry where they have email lists and followers and fans, and a lot of times people forget these are people, that are into stuff, they not only business but other things as well. And I think that's a lot of fun.
So, and then to wrap it up, basically what I'll do is I'll send people to the show notes on
Yeah.
they can link up with all your stuff there.
Yeah, you can check out therisetotop.com, and then you can get started at createawesomeonlinecourses.com. And what we have there, just to share with people, is that you enter your email, and then you start getting some free stuff, and then eventually you get an invitation to join, and it's all kinds of cool stuff going on there.
Perfect. And I can give you a good testimonial.
That's right.
I mean,
boom.
hello, I'm here.
I don't get it.
I drove all the way from Phoenix to pick you up and give you a ride.
I appreciate that. To go 2 blocks.
That's right.
now I can go pick up some sushi, and I can get some sweet potatoes, and it's
dry cleaning.
Get my dry cleaning. It's gonna be a great little afternoon. It's fun. It's funny being in another Tesla. It's kind of like being in this like sort of bizarro world, right? Because I'm used to my Tesla.
Yeah.
This
one's probably a little dirtier since I've basically been living in it for the last month, but
that's impressive.
Other than that,
You've got quite the setup here. More cameras than my Tesla.